You're tuned into Human by AI with Ashish Garg. Real, unscripted conversations about how humans and AI are shaping the future of community finance. Grab your favorite drink and let's dive in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another version of Human by AI podcast. I have today somebody who's truly unscripted. His name is David Woodruff. David just has an opinion and he's unafraid to share his opinion, and that's why he's here today. But David, before we get into the powwow, can you tell our audience a little bit more about yourself?
Sure. I have been in the credit union industry most of my career, over 30 years, many places around the United States, from California to Washington and then Virginia and New Mexico and now Maryland. I'm at APL Federal Credit Union. Here, Laurel is our address, Laurel, Maryland.
I see.
The APL comes from Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, was our original membership. We are a community chartered credit union to serve anyone who lives or works in Howard County. We have about 30,000 members, almost 31,000 members, and just 51 or 58 employees, about 680 million in assets. So it's nice. Everybody knows each other. We work closely together.
Yeah.
I'm in a great spot.
That's awesome. So 58 employees serving 31,000 members.
Yeah.
And talk about operational efficiency.
So we're fortunate in that, we have a membership that's geographically concentrated. So we're not having to staff. We only have 3 branches. So we're not having to staff a lot of branches. We've stuck very straightforward at serving households. So auto, home, savings checking, basic services, but do it well.
Right.
And so it doesn't take a lot of people to do a lot of variety of things. We try to do the right things well.
Got it. Okay. So the topic of our conversation today is AI. I have a feeling you hear about AI a little bit these days.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. But before we get into sort of credit union perspective, David, do you use AI in your personal life at all?
Do I use it?
Yeah.
Sure. What I think is happening is that we don't even realize we're using it. If you just Google something, you're getting the AI summary of all the things, right?
Yeah.
So things like that show up in places that I didn't think I was going out to use AI. It's there. It's embedded now. It's in places when you're ordering online and things like that. So yes, I use it. I don't necessarily have to seek it out even.
Yeah.
It's all around us.
It's all around. It comes to you. And let's talk about sort of your credit union, David. As a credit union, have you embraced AI so far?
Yeah, we have. In fact, thanks to Eltropy, our employee assist that we deployed last year, we were going through a conversion and we were able to take all the documentation into it. We were thinking we would do it after conversion. And then the light bulb went on and said, wait a second, why are we waiting for this? You guys worked with us. We got in place. So when we went through conversion, our staff could just ask the questions, how do I reverse a payment? All those kinds of things. The Corps had sent people on site to answer questions. They hardly got any calls because our staff was getting immediate answers through our employee assist. That's probably been the biggest piece of it. The beauty of that is that then our staff can still use it to connect with members through the text platform. It tells them where they're getting the information. They can text it.
Yeah.
It's really become a useful tool for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the whole reason, David, I started this podcast is there's a lot of fear out there about AI disrupting the job market.
Yeah.
So 3 days ago, I saw this post by the CEO of Anthropic saying, hey, a lot of white-collar jobs, especially entry-level jobs, could be under risk and unemployment could rise. I'm sure a lot of this hearsay as well. But what's your take on it? I know you've been with credit unions for a very long time. You've already adopted AI assistant, etc. Where do you think are the opportunities for AI to add more automation to the work that credit unions do?
I don't know if I'm at the bleeding edge of the automation part of it. in general, and this isn't anything new, this is things that other people have said, is that the mundane tasks we want to take off of our staff, the entry into spreadsheets we want to take off our staff. We want our staff to still be the focal point, but have AI get us to the point that our staff needs to be involved. Get us so that I heard a great, and I think it came from a professor at the London School of Economics, Jim Farrell, who's an author, was speaking with our staff a few weeks ago, and he outlined this. For most of human history, the body was how we accomplished work. The Industrial Revolution brought kind of the brain powered, where machines did the body work. And then it was our minds and our brains. So it was a mind economy. And now with AI, you say, is it going to replace the mind? Because it has all the information, but it's the heart and it's the soul that is the economy we're going to be in. Humans are going to make a difference in the economy, and we have to be able to show up in the places where we make a difference. Let AI do the things that it can do, that we don't need to find tedious. Let's get to the places that we find meaningful. And that's my hope, and how I see it going is the meaningful part, the human connection. That's what people are going to value from credit unions. And we have to deploy AI in a way that allows us to be even more human.
Yeah, I just absolutely love what you said. The heart and the soul. The heart and the soul, which makes humans really human.
Yeah.
And I think as AI, as a technology becomes more pervasive and takes care of more and more of sort of the thinking tasks.
Yeah.
The question is, where can humans really apply the heart and soul? And what I love about credit unions, David, they truly serve the underserved.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the irony: our formal education system never teaches us about managing money. Isn't that ironic, Carl?
Yeah.
This is where credit unions are at the forefront. So let's go with the concept heart and soul. Can you give me an example, or maybe a couple of examples of where credit unions like yours can truly apply the heart and soul to make people's lives better?
No, that's a great example. And I got a letter from a woman who, funny enough, her brother works for a credit union, a core that serves credit unions. We met. And he says, "Oh, my sister's a member of your credit union, and she loves you guys." And I connected with her, and she was telling her story. I said, "You got to write this down." And she shared, she was a teacher, single mom. She was at a point in her life where things had kind of gotten out of control. Her daughter was in the military and got leave for like one day to come home. But she got her there. Long story short, her daughter needed to get out to Dover Air Force Base, and she didn't even have money to put in her gas tank.
Wow.
And she knew her financial life was in disarray.
Yeah.
She was overextended. She had a line of credit with us that had maxed out.
Yeah.
And she came by the credit union, talked to, kind of the normal process to say, "Can I advance my line?" And it's like, this doesn't qualify it. Fortunately, our rep had the heart to say, "Well, let me see what my manager would think of this." And our manager steps in and says, "What is it you're doing? Here's the story behind her critical situation." She just didn't want to have to not be with her daughter to take her back to the Air Force Base and leave her hanging. She needed an increase of $200 on an existing credit line. No big deal on our end, right? But if we had left it to processes and does it qualify or not. So when the human heart entered in and said, this makes perfect sense to extend this line, either we're going to lose on this plus 200 or not, and that moment. And, she said it was everything in her life in that moment. Wow. To be able to take care of her daughter, have just the sense as a parent that she wasn't having to tell her, "Sorry, I can't even help you."
Yeah.
That then as she worked with us to get stabilized and things like that, she's doing great. Her financial life is in order, but it was kind of in that moment of truth where the human had to recognize, wait a second, this doesn't fit inside any boxes this is just the right thing to do. And that, I don't think that ever goes away. And oftentimes the most important things we do are small dollars.
I see.
The most important things aren't the $50,000 loans.
I
The
see.
most important things sometimes are that $200 and $500 amount that we say, yeah, this makes sense.
Yes. And I've noticed one thing. First of all, what a heartwarming story. And congratulations to your credit union and that rep of yours for that
Yeah.
the lady. What I've noticed, David, that when people are financially in that situation that lady is,
Yeah.
people also start feeling very vulnerable and very desperate.
Yeah. And hopefully they can trust us enough to be vulnerable with us. And they count on us. They expect that of us. They might not expect that of other types of for-profit institutions,
Yeah.
but their hope in us is, wait a second, these are people I can talk to. And so they might not even apply at other places or ask, but they're willing to ask of us because they think we're different.
Please. Heart and soul
Yeah.
story. Okay. Now the last question for you. Let me preface that with a little bit of background. So I have 2 kids. My son is 13 years old. Daughter is 10. When I was their age, I got fascinated with computers. Luckily, my father got me this tiny old computer, started learning programming, etc., etc. And here we are, and I'm a founder of a software company. David, if you were with my kids today, and let's imagine AI is going to keep getting better on the intelligence side, what would you tell my kids? What should they learn, or what skills should they pick up in this new era of AI?
I think they need to know the foundational things, the math, the science, the English, humanities. They shouldn't take the shortcuts to say, oh, I can use something. Yes, you'll eventually have it at your fingertips, but you need to spend some time internalizing those fundamentals across all the, what we would call a liberal arts, education. But in that process, get into the space between you and others. Get out of your head and start to open up to who am I? Between you and I, there's a space between here.
Yeah.
I'm willing to step in because I know you and I trust you.
Yeah.
There are other people that I don't know. And if I'm willing to kind of break open, I can get into a space where we connect, or at least we productively come to something better than just me observing other people. And so I know that's kind of a long-winded answer but for young people, so often we get drawn to the interfaces from our phones, computers, and so forth. But it really is getting into that space between where we really learn, we understand what makes people tick. We understand how to read other people, how to understand what their face and their body language is telling us. And when we can do that, it broadens us. It makes us greater human. And this sounding really hippy dippy, I think, but the point is that I really believe that you got to do all those things, but make sure that you really connect as a human in person to person.
Yeah. David, I just love the framework you gave today, and the heart and soul.
Yeah, I believe that. Yep.
Wonderful. Okay. That's all I had today. Thank you so much for coming, David.
Oh,
and cheers to you. Water cheers, and
water cheers.
And look forward to having you
There you go.
again on this podcast.